Alright everybody, hello and welcome as always. I am Sean. This is In The Mixer as we continue Season 3 of our Hashtag United in Football Manager 2019 series. Looks a little bit different. I had gotten so used to being in the Eastern Counties leagues, both our Division 1 and the Premier Division, that seeing this Bostic South East Division 1 logo, it just looks it looks so different to me. It's almost like we're starting a new series all over again. So we are at the 1st of August. There has been a whole bunch of stuff that's happened throughout the course of the season. Or the off-season, I should say. Following on from that phenomenal season we had last year, we have managed to retain a good amount of that squad. And I think the biggest piece of news, and the thing that was like the biggest monkey on my back throughout the course of last season, was we're back onto part-time contracts, which is absolutely fantastic. You can see all these guys here on part-time deals, no longer on non-contracts. We do have a couple of players still on non-contracts, just because they haven't signed or agreed to new terms yet, but we will continue trying to work them down, get them onto their part-time contracts as well, get them guaranteed money, and continue our growth and development, so that if anybody wants to come and poach them and offer them contracts, as the teams have done now to Cambrogham, they at least have to give us some sort of compensation before they can do that. Because of that though, that massive change, that return to full semi-professional status, we are currently over our wage budget. £600, it'll likely go up a little bit further as we sign some of these other players to part-time contracts as well, and I'm just going to keep asking Spencer pretty much every month if he can increase the transfer budget, or increase the wage budget for a few months, days and weeks. Now you've probably already seen here there are a couple of new names, a couple of massive returns as well, which is absolutely huge. Let's first go through the one that's gone out. Brendan Sarpong-Waradu has gone to Hemel Hempstead, playing in the Vanarama South competition. They offered him a part-time deal before we had officially made our transition to part-time contracts again, and they offered him good money. He's on £275 a week. We were never going to get anywhere near that. Our part-time contracts max out at around £100 at the moment, and he took that offer really early in the off-season, so credit to him. He'll do very well in that environment, which brings us to the 3 players that we've brought in. Of course, it was always going to happen. I was going to have to get him back at some point. Andy Cade Watts, the inaugural captain, started the season with us last year as well before getting poached by Hampton and Richmond. He did play 26 games for them, conceded 34 in that time, average rating of 6.52 in the Vanarama South. They didn't renew his contract at the end of the season. We picked him up pretty much the day he was released. He signed a contract that day, and we have had him ever since. In addition to that, he is also our goalkeeping coach at present, which bodes well for him hanging around the club once his career is finished. He's probably only got maybe like 2 or 3 more seasons in him as a 34-year-old player. As long as he keeps going, he'll have a contract here. He's on really good money, £300 a week. I need to try and talk him into taking maybe it down to 200 just to get us extra wiggle room in the wage budget. But fantastic to have ACW back. And he'll likely wear the captain's armband again this year. He did so well for us in Season 1 and the beginning of Season 2. The other one, a new backup goalkeeper, Murphy Cooper, has joined. 18 years old, he's an ex-QPR junior. I went and found his photo on the Academy website, put together his little face pack in the same style as what we've been using. Just a backup player, but really, really high potential. Realistically, he's probably pretty close to Andy Cade Watts right now as an 18-year-old, but I'm going to give him some more time to develop without having to play games. And if he cracks shits towards the end of the season and wants to come in and play a bit more, we'll bring him in. The other one we've added is Ryan George to replace Brendan Sarpong at right back. Current ability, only 1.5 star, but he's got massive, massive potential ability. He's a Newport County junior, similar to what I did with Murphy. Jumped on their website, tried to find a photo of him. I think this is him. I hope it's him. It's the photo we're using. He can play as a wing back on support, which is fantastic. We're going to try and train him a little bit more to be a full back on support. Really good physical attributes, decent tackling. Can't really cross that much, but we'll teach him how to do it. And he'll probably start the season playing at right back, and he'll compete with Cambrogham. My main concern with Cambrogham is that other teams are bidding on him, and he hasn't yet signed a part-time contract with us. Though we have offered him one, and I'm confident that he'll sign it. So only 3 in. I wanted to try and keep this group together as much as possible, give them an opportunity to go back to back to back in terms of the promotion places. And we now have the security, like we're not going to lose Tom Humphrey again in the middle of the season. We're not going to lose Ricky Evans again in the middle of the season. Andy Cade Watts should see out his career here. All these players playing on part-time contracts are going to be here and in and around the first team squad for the entirety of the season, so we can really start developing some of our players, getting them through, getting more specialised training involved. It's going to be great. Moving to semi-professional is such a massive, massive part, or a massive, massive step forward for us as a club. It's going to be absolutely huge. So no retirements this year, which is great to see. We're still running with the same board and coaching structure that we had previous years. Jay Devereaux's still assistant. I'll keep Devs here as long as he wants to be here. Hopefully, he hasn't been poached yet, but he's on decent money with a part-time contract. With a full-time contract. Andy Cade-Watts, obviously we spoke about, goalkeeping coach. Neil Richmond is now just a full-time coach, as is Jack Harrison. We brought him back after he left last season to manage Bexhill United. They released him at the end of the season. We've brought him straight back in. He's a great attacking coach. He's a decent fitness coach. Thrilled to have him around. And he's on a part-time deal as well, so he's not going to get poached easily without some sort of compensation for us. Steve Carmichael Brown, still best in the biz, still our full-time physio. Tom Williams and Dan Brown as our two scouts. I don't even know what a scout is. The only one we don't have is Jamie Jackson, still managing Faversham Town in South East Division 1, so at the same level that we're currently playing at. I think if we get promoted, we should be able to bring him back. But let's not get ahead of ourselves too early. There are some good teams in this division, but I would love to bring him back in as well. You can see his preferred staff role is actually as a coach, so we'd look to bring him back in that capacity if we can get him here. He is on our staff shortlist, along with Adebayo Akinfenwa, who doesn't want to move to us, but I think if we go up a couple more divisions, he will want to come. Obviously, bringing him in would be massive for us as well. All right, looking at our pre-season schedule and how we've done so far. We've played a couple of local teams, as we always do. We've played a couple of under-18 teams for Premier League sides. I basically simmed through all the pre-season friendlies this year because I kind of know the team a little bit better, and this one was a bit more about form and fitness, so I'll let Devs take care of them. We've beaten Barkingside Greenways, Lopez Tavares, Hackney Wick, British Airways and Sutton Conaman. Some names in there that you remember from previous seasons because we played them in the league. We're convincingly beating those sides now without any drama. All right, and we'll just do a quick squad review as well. I think it always helps. Murphy Cooper and Cade-Watts will go head-to-head for the goal spots. Ryan George will play right back with Kane Brougham. Tom Hanfrey will probably start most of the games with Ross Gleed as a more than capable deputy. Our three central defenders, Marcus Stamp, who's working his way back from his ACL injury and should be back into full training in 5 days, which is crazy. He's been injured for about 200 days, which is just insane. For us, Ngannou, Jamel Akeem will be the other two there, likely to start the season as the starting partnership until we get Marcus Stamp back up into some sort of form and fitness. Ricky Evans can play there if we need him to as well, but he'll likely be the third choice holding midfielder with Lee Hersett and Scott Pollock playing the majority of those games. Armando Shashua will play as the advanced playmaker in that number 10 spot. Ryan Adams will be his deputy for the season again. On the right-hand side, we'll of course have Charlie Morley, who's been fantastic in the last couple of seasons. Aaron Couch will be his deputy. Harry Honesty on the left wing, back-to-back leading scorer for our first 2 seasons in the save. Theo Baker will be his deputy. Tashan Richmond will play most of the games up top. Daniel Adji will deputise for him when required, or when we need to rotate a little bit, depending on fitness and form and injuries and whatever else. But pretty much the same squad that we've had for the last 2 seasons, just a couple of little changes here and there due to retirements and whatever else. From a training perspective, we've just had everybody working on their individual roles within our structure, within our system. It hasn't led us astray yet, so we're going to keep the faith in the shape, in the formation. As we start getting higher up divisions, we will start tweaking some of the individual roles, some of the individual instructions to suit the players that are playing. But for right now, when we're rotating as much as we are, we're just going to keep it as generic as possible, and everyone's just been working on that if you wanted to have a look at what training they're doing. For trophies this year, I think the Alan Turvey Trophy replaces the old League Cup that we won 2 years in a row, both finals against Galston, convincing wins in both. We're expected to reach to the 3rd round of that competition because obviously there is another higher division, the Bostic Premier, above us that has some really, really good teams in it. Bill Blaze FA Trophy, we are expected to reach the preliminary rounds of that one. FA Trophy is open to all the teams in the lower league structures. In England, it's kind of similar to the FA Vase. We didn't actually win that competition, which is a bummer, but the FA Trophy is one that can also take us to Wembley as well. The FA Cup, of course, we do have an extra preliminary round game that we'll do in this episode against Walsall Wood. Hopefully we can do a little bit better than we did last season in the FA Cup. And then obviously Bostic South, East Division 1, the board expectation is that we win the league. But if we look at the season preview, we are no longer the favourites to go up promoted. Hythe Town, who I believe dropped down from the higher division last season, they are expected to do very well. They are mostly on part-time contracts in a similar situation to us. They do have some quality players here. A couple of people that are looking to get poached by higher division teams like Carshalton, Met Police, Wroxham, East Thurrock, like their teams 2 and 3 divisions above where they're currently playing. So they obviously have a very, very good side, and we'll have to be at our best to beat them. Zach Answer's a name I recognise there. Billy Lobshot, who's been around the divisions for a while. Hazen Yetting, they're an Vanarama South team. So like they've been around for a long time as well. Horsham are a decent side, Whiteleaf are a decent side. Sittingbourne I don't know much about, but Guernsey I'm really excited to see. We'll go and give Matt Letitia a hero's welcome when he comes to visit Coles Park Stadium. We do have a couple of players here in the Media Dream 11, Murphy Cooper, Farai Singano, Richmond and Morley up top. So we should still be competitive in this league, but you can see Hythe Town have 3 players of their own in that squad as well. Hayes and Yedding have 3 also. Like there's some good players in this division, and I think it's going to be more of a challenge and a lot closer than the last 2 years have been. As far as the club is concerned, no massive movement in terms of like favoured personnel or rivalries or anything. Harry Honesty is still the only legend from the active playing staff, Spencer Owen being the other one. I'm still only in favoured personnel despite back-to-back league and cup doubles. Tashan Richmond and Ryan Adams joining me there. No fierce rivals as yet, no other rivals as yet, no derbies as yet, but I'm sure they'll continue to develop throughout the course of the game and throughout the course of the save. Interestingly, we share Coles Park with Haringey Borough. They've gone up last season as well, getting promoted, and are now in the Bostik League Premier Division. So if we get promoted, we will have a local derby, a Coles Park derby, where we'll be competing directly against them, which will be great. I did forget to mention him because he left at the end of last season before it came across, but Tekka's Guru has also left. He's on a non-contract at Wantage. We offered him a part-time deal and he turned us down. He's unhappy. He was unhappy at the club, didn't want to be there. He's a half-a-star player at the moment with his current abilities, 31 years old. He's not going to improve. He wasn't going to play that much. I'm still going to try and bring him back, make no mistake. We want him to be here and we want him to finish his career probably playing reserves for us. So we're going to keep trying with him. Matt Carter is the other one. Haven't been able to get anywhere near Matt Carter. He'd be perfect for us. He's a central midfield to defend, which is the exact role we currently use. But after being a West Ham junior, a Charlton junior, and then 3 seasons at Torquay, where he was playing quite a bit and earning about £600 a week or something crazy like that, he's not quite at a point where he wants to come and play part-time in the lower divisions. He's wanted by Woking, who are a Vanarama national side, so he's obviously got a ton of quality. Still only 22. We're just going to keep trying to chip away at him and see how we go. He'll be the main marquee signing for this season if we can get him. But more than confident in the group that we've put together. They've gotten us back-to-back promotions. They've gotten us back-to-back League Cups. I think they can do it, and we will do well in our game against Walsall Wood today, which we will jump into now. All right, looking at our line up here, Andy Cade Watson goal. So good to see him back in the lineup. Tom Humphrey at left back. Ryan George will come in for his debut today at right full back. Singano and Evans will play together in midfield. I don't want to rush Jamel Akeem or Marcus Stamp back into that one, so Evans will drop back. Hurst and Pollock will anchor midfield. Shashura at the 10. Honesty on the left wing. Charlie Morley on the right. Tashan Richmond, still captain, up top. Bench is Cooper, Gleed, Brougham, Adams, Baker, Couch and Adji, so plenty of talent there. We're now starting to see a lot more players with actual faces in the teams against this, which is one, terrifying but also great to see. They've got McDonald in goal, Campion their captain at left back, Boateng at right back, 2 regen players in Wardell and Knight at central defence, Tunstall anchor midfield making his debut for them, Chris Flood who looks like an ex, it's either Leighton Orient or Luton Town, it's hard to tell, will play midfield alongside Stephen Corley. James Forrester will play on the left wing, Baker on the right, Morton up top. Anytime you see a face pack player, that usually means that they've played at some sort of decent level before, or else it wouldn't be in there. So assertively, we're just going to say, if we play our game, we'll win. You're all capable of that. We are playing at home. We do have a strong record here. They are playing at a similar division to ourselves, albeit in a different region. I think we should have enough to get past them and continue our run in the FA Cup, because we could use that little bit of extra revenue. It means it's more likely that Spencer will say, I can have more from my wage budget. So cup competitions are going to be massive this season. And away we go, kick off on season 3 of our #United series. It has flown by so far, but I've enjoyed it so much. All right, we've gotten outside the opening 20 minutes without conceding, which is great, but we also haven't had a highlight positively, so I'm just going to use a shout and I'm going to demand more because it consistently seems to work for me, and hopefully that can give us a bit of boost for the last 25 minutes of the half. Everyone responded really well and seems focused after that one, and it leads to an immediate highlight. Morley to take the corner now towards Tashan Richmond back stick. It's going to come out. Shashua should be the first man to it. He's got support in the middle if he can find him. He does now to Scott Pollock. Scott Pollock gets closed down well but finds Lee Hursett without any dramas. Scott Pollock to Hursett. There's a full back overlapping on the right. It's back to Ricky Evans. Pollock now to Hursett. Long ball forward. Headed away by Campion, only as far as Shashua though. Can he find the ball inside? He looks for Harry Honesty back stick, and it's a first goal of the season for Harry Honesty. He has been our leading assist maker, our leading scorer, usually our highest match rating. Phenomenal ball here from Armando Shashua. Hopefully he will continue his development. He's still only 19, but look at this pass. Lovely weighted ball there. Harry Honesty on his left peg, half volleys, first time finishes. Those are his bread and butter, and he puts us a goal up in the FA Cup and the first episode of Season 3. All right, here we go. Tash and Richmond take a free kick from deep towards back stick. Headed back by Forrester. Morley gets something on it and it hits the post and comes back to McDonald. Not sure if it was a header or a volley or what the story was there, but decent effort from Charlie. Another highlight here. Pollock resets through Herset. Out to Shashua. Nice reverse pass there to Tash and Richmond, who strikes from distance, hits the bar, and it looked like maybe Shashua might get first to the rebound, but it's hooked away by Boateng. Humphrey will tidy up now. Is this the end of the highlight, or are we going to see it continue? Humphrey with the long ball forward towards Harry Honesty. Can he get the ball across? It's a decent one in, but Wardle gets the ball away. Nice little passage of play there. Harry Honesty has picked up a yellow card that we'll have to be aware of. Here we go. Another highlight again. George takes the throw in on the right. Inside to Scott Pollock. Good reverse pass to Shashua. Hangs the ball back stick towards Tashane Richmond, and he just heads over. So we've had a good amount of chances. We've hit the crossbar. We've hit the post. We have headed over. We've blazed wide. We've done all sorts of stuff in this first half. I'd love to get a second goal just to ease everybody's nerves a little bit and get us back into that regular season rhythm. It's going to be 2 minutes extra in the first half, plus whatever the referee's about to tell us for injury time here. 2 more minutes to be added on. Is there going to be any late drama in this first half? We haven't seen a highlight yet from Walsall Wood. The only real notifications we've gotten is Jamie Forrester picking up a yellow card as well as Darren Campion. So the left side is struggling to deal with our right side at the moment. But we've gotten through the extra 2 minutes, and I dare say the referee is about to call for half-time. Just waiting for the notification here, half-time at Coles Park. So decent performance, 11 shots, 5 on target, 66% possession, 3 shots, 1 on target, 34% for Walsall Wood. No need to overcomplicate things. I'm pleased with how things are going. Keep it up. Give everyone that bit of a boost. Get stuck in the second half and hopefully get the extra goals to reflect our dominance in the game so far. All right, and away we go for the second half. Is this just going to be a kick-off highlight, or are we going to see an... Oh, no, it's just a kick-off highlight. I jinxed it. I should just let them play out and not say anything. All right, we're getting towards the hour mark now, and it's getting a little bit fiery. They've got 5 players on yellow cards. We have 2 in Scott Pollock and Harry Honesty, and I really don't want to go down to 10 men. I know both of them are playing really well, but I just don't want to risk any suspensions this early in the season. So I think the first sub we'll make is we'll bring on Ryan Adams for Scott Pollock, and we'll push him to play at the 10. Armando Shashua will drop back to play central midfield, and Harry Honesty, it's just a straight swap for him. We're going to take him off and bring on Theo Baker, and hopefully Theo Baker's actually got a decent goal scoring record in appearances off the bench and appearances in cup competitions. We'll see if that can be enough for him. It looks like Daniel Adjie's struggling a little bit. Charlie Morley's not having the greatest game, but I'm going to give it another 15-20 minutes before we worry too much about substituting either of them. Now, is this a highlight here? Corley's coming forward. Baker with the ball now. Good tackle from Herset. He should keep the ball in as well. Played forward to Harry Honesty. He's got a man square now on Shashua, who turns out brilliantly, finds Scott Pollock. Played a ball forward towards Tashane Richmond, who surely was offside there, but yes, it is. They've won a free kick. So not a whole lot going on in that particular highlight, but at least their highlight's going our way, and it's not Walsall Wood immediately coming back into the game as soon as we've made subs. Surely at some point they're going to have to do something about their yellow card situation as well. But I think what we might do is also use a shout. Remaining 30 minutes, let's demand more again. See if anybody responds positively to that. We did see last season a lot more goals conceded, a lot more yellow cards, a lot more suspensions than we had previous years. It's only worked on Tom Humphrey, that particular talk. So I think this year, one of my key focuses from a substitution point of view is when we've got guys on yellow cards, take them off. It's not worth going down to 10 men for. And we have quality in the squad. There's still, I know we do have some 1.5 and 2-star players in the squad, but there's still enough in like our top 14, 15 players that we should be able to get past most teams, regardless of who's playing. George now to Shashua, who plays a lovely crossfield switch towards Tom Humphrey, who comes forward now. He gets a strike away. That is a fantastic goal, the first of the season for Tom Humphrey. He scored an absolute peach of a goal last season from a similar position, but in the other corner. And I thought it was our goal of the season. He didn't actually win our goal of the season. Ross Gleed did, with a similar strike from distance after a lovely run. Great crossfield switch there from Shashua. Comes forward, takes touch here, gets his strike away. beats the keeper on the near side. Maybe the keeper could have done a little bit better with his positioning, but we go 2-0 up, which is fantastic to see. All right, Ryan George has just picked up a yellow card as well, which I think kind of solves the question as to who we were going to take off next. We'll bring on Kane Brougham, just a straight like-for-like swap there. And hopefully Kane can kick off his 2020 season? 2021? I can't remember what year we're up to. I think it's 2021 season, as well as he's done in the first two. All right, we're into the last 10 minutes now. Tom Humphries also picked up a yellow card. Not sure if it was for whipping his kid off during the celebration or what the story is, but he just needs to behave himself and be a good boy for the last few minutes. They've still not made substitutes, which is absolutely insane. I'm not sure what they're going about here. If you're wondering why everyone said overwhelmed by the feedback, I tried a new one, which was concentrate, because you can see here a lot of the players are complacent at the moment. It did not work. We will be putting that one back on the shelf and we won't be touching it again. 6 yellow cards for them, still no subs. There's going to be 3 minutes added on by the referee here. They've done very well. Actually, good discipline from them to not go down to 10 minutes at any point. As soon as someone gets a yellow, I think they stop tackling us. Is there going to be any late drama here? 90 seconds remaining. Humphrey with the throw in from the left-hand side. Can he get a decent ball in? Plays Ryan Adams to Theo Baker. Tries to get a strike away, but it's shut down. Comes out to Lee Hersett. Sure with the ball over the top, but it's tidied up pretty easily by McDonald. There are still just over 60 seconds remaining. Are we going to see any further highlights here? It's a long ball forward. Humphrey should tidy up. Looks for a crossfield switch towards Richmond, but it's cut out well by the Walsall Wood defence. Charlie Morley comes forward now, and the lovely reverse pass to Tash and Richmond. Can he find the finish? It's a good save from McDonald. We'll have a corner here. Charlie Morley should take. He does now. Who can he find in the middle? It's towards Tash and Richmond back stick. It's headed away. Boateng now. Is there a counter attack on? It's 2v1 in our favour. Now 3v1. Good dropping back there from Ricky Evans. Though Baker is coming forward on the right. Lovely one win there from Hanfrey. Is this the final highlight of the game? We're now towards the final few seconds of the 3 minutes added on by the ref. And he's called full time. So a good performance. A good professional 2-0 win. 22 shots, 11 on target, 60% possession in the end. 7 shots, 3 on target, 40% to Walsall Wood. No real need to overcomplicate anything here. Armando Shashua, actually a fantastic game. Imperious form from him, a 9.0 and 2 assists to his name. I think we're just going to calmly tell everybody, a good win, boys, well done. I think one of the things I forgot to talk about earlier, which is kind of one of those behind the scenes things that you don't really think about when you're watching a series, is because we got promoted 2 seasons ago, we got to remove the entire level 10, which was about like 20 divisions across the country. You can't remove a league the same year you get promoted out of it, so it takes 12 months. So what we can do now is also remove the English Counties leagues, which will disappear from the end of this season, which is where we played last year, and that will remove a whole other layer. Like, it is processing so much quicker now than it previously had. It still looks like computer performance and game speed suck, but just being able to take out that one section, it's making my life so much easier. I can't even describe through words how thrilled I am with how quickly it is now loading through everything, including that FA Cup extra preliminary round. Good 2-0 win from everybody. We absolutely hammered them in the end. 22 shots to 7, 60 to 40, as we already said. Harry Honesty and Armando Shashua both looking in imperious form so far this season. Hopefully they can continue that. Ryan George makes his professional debut, which is great for him. Only 18 years old. Has 2 years left on his current £50 a week deal, which is really, really cheap. Thrilled we've got him on multiple seasons. We've got press conferences for the first time in a long, long time. I'm not sure if that's just because it's FA Cup or if it's going to be more frequent this season. A few more performances. Why couldn't we go further? Tom was fantastic today. Tom Humphrey, of course. I'm not going to spend time worrying about Tash and Richmond. He's a very good player. Ryan George had a good solid game. I'm sure he'll build on that. And Armando Shashua, 19-year-old, number 10, creative dynamo that he is. Absolutely fantastic performance for him. We get 2.25k, which is massive for us. And Shashua with his 2 assists. Let's give him some positive feedback as well. Superb in front of goal last time. Oh, he didn't actually score, so I don't know why I've said that. I should have said chances created. That's on me. All right, we've gotten through a tremendous amount in this episode. Obviously, the last episode recapping Season 2 and everything that happened with that. This one going through the off-season and everyone that we've kind of signed or secured on part-time contracts and going through our pre-season scheduling. It's a lot of talking. I get that. I know it. So next episode, we're just going to come straight back. We're going to play Walton and Hersham, our first game of the season, our first game in the Bostik South East Division 1. We're also going to play VCD Athletic. You know what's just occurred to me? Faversham Town are in our division. And I've only just noticed it then. So we're going to be coaching against Jamie Jackson this season. I don't know if I'm emotionally prepared for something like that, but it's a couple of months away. It's a couple of episodes away, but we'll definitely get that game in that episode. That is absolutely insane. Anyway, Walton and Hersham, VCD Athletic, in the next episode, episode 22, I think we're already up to, which is crazy. Thank you to everybody that supported the channel so far. Thank you for everyone that subscribed or liked videos or shared them amongst your friends. I really do appreciate stuff like that. It helps the channel continue to grow. I hope you guys are enjoying the content. I'm really enjoying making it and putting it out there. Feel free to subscribe if you want to be kept up to date on future videos. Feel free to follow _FM on Twitter if you want to be kept up to date on new videos once they're released. But more than anything though, thank you so much for watching, guys. I really do appreciate it. I'll see you guys again in the mixer, and of course, don't forget to hashtag it.